Okay, everybody, here we are. The pivotal choice. Oops, I didn't click on that. Oh, I think I hit the scroll wheel. That's what it does. Okay, pivotal choice time, everybody. Sachi has to destroy her demons, one way or the other. She could either take her own life and rid them completely, or she could kill her mother, whom was supposedly the source of all the demons. But honestly, I feel that that would just cause even more problems. I mean, she blames herself for her parents' death. Well, at least one of her parents who died. This one's pretty much dead mentally. But you know, here's how I look at it. If she kills her mom, that's not going to really solve anything, because she's just gonna. I imagine she would probably feel guilt, you know, on some level. I mean, I think anyone would, regardless of the intentions. So, you know, I don't think that's going to solve anything. If anything, that might make the nightmares even worse. I mean, the only true way out of the suffering is to take her own life, I think. And that is not a choice I want to do. Believe me. And it probably is ultimately the wrong choice. More than likely. But it is the choice I have come to accept. No, I'm not picking that. Hell with that. Kill myself. I went this whole way. You think I'm gonna let Sachi die at her own hand? Hell no. Hell no. Oh man, can you imagine having to make that choice? I mean, anyone. I mean, just... Man, I can't believe it. I mean, you're sitting there watching your mother suffer. She has no real way of living again. I mean, she's a vegetable, essentially. She's, you know, comatose. And you have to sit there and, like, watch her essentially occupy space, essentially. That's as useful as she is right now. She's just a body. But still, that is not a choice I hope I ever have to make, let me tell you. And this choice resonates a little bit with myself, because my own mother actually went through something in the last days of her life, and it was quite disturbing to witness and see, and it's ultimately why I didn't want to make this choice, but I decided that you guys deserve to see it. A good ending. You want the game to end on a high note, don't you? Sometimes we gotta hit a low note every once in a while to get the high ones. But here we go. Mom's the source of my suffering. After leaving me that terrifying final question, she spent years in constant sleep, little more than a living reminder of that tragedy. At the very least, her death would put an end to the pain even now racking my body. An end to my fear of her words. And if I want to be liberated from my nightmares, this may be the only means remaining to me. I'm a weak person. I doubt there's a more selfish, coward person anywhere on the face of the earth. In order to protect myself from my unendurable guilt, I lied to myself for many years. I made the world simple and tried to erase who I was. But I can't tell myself that lie anymore. I can't betray Yukun, who went so very far to make me realize my mistake. In that case, I've got no choice but to find a new way to run from the past. Namely, killing my mother. Maybe Mom's suffering in her own right, being kept alive in such a miserable state. Maybe she'd be happier going up to heaven, where Dad's waiting for her. Or she'll never have to see my face again. As soon as the idea crosses my mind, nauseatingly convenient excuses pop up one after another. I'm a terrible daughter. Even after all the suffering my selfishness caused my parents, all I'm thinking about is how to make my life easier for myself. Is there even blood running through my veins? Perhaps it would actually be best if I was branded a criminal and sent to jail. Yes, a real prison, where I could spend my entire life atoning for my crimes. Whatever people may say, I'm afraid Muhammad's Academy is hardly suitable for the purpose. I hope you guys have tissues. This is gonna get emotional, I can tell. The days I spent there were very special to me. Michiru-sama, Miki-chan, Bane-san, Sakahi-san, and Principal Tachibana. Everyone I met there was a truly kind-hearted person, and above all else, it was the place where I reunited with Yukun. The place where he made me his girlfriend, where he told me that he loved me. It was all far more than I deserved. This will put an end to all that, to my unfair, unwarranted happiness. Therefore. With the same words I always cry when escaping from my nightmares, I reach out and put my hand on my mother's neck.
Sachi, 今日は何が食べたい? サチったらまたそんなわがままを言って。すごいじゃないサチ。テストで100点を取ってくるなんて、お母さん鼻が高いわ。
Oh.
できるわけないよ。だって私はお母さんが大好きだった。優しくて温かくて笑顔が素敵なお母さんが好きだった。いつも笑顔にあふれていて笑い声が絶えないあの家が大好きだった。だからどんなにお父さんとお母さんが私のことを嫌いになっても、どんなに私のことを恨んでいるとしても、私はお父さんとお母さんのことを恨めない。嫌いになんかなれない。だからこの手でお母さんを殺すなんてこと絶対にできない。できないよ。
As I speak, Mom's face flashes before my eyes again and again. Her slightly embarrassed smile when someone said dinner was delicious. That proud grin when I told her about winning an art contest at school. The excited, happy expression she always had when talking about work with Dad. And many more, far too many to count. All as clear as day. The faces of the person I loved more than anyone else in the world. And oddly enough, the next word to leave my mouth was the same one that's been tormenting me all this time. Once the floodgates open, the words don't stop. One after the other, the feelings I've kept locked inside flow uncontrollably out of my mouth.
どうして急に冷たくなったの？どうして仕事ばかりするようになっちゃったの？どうしてお前のことが嫌いだってはっきり言ってくれなかったの？そう言ってくれれば私にも何かできたかもしれないのに。それなのにどうしてあの日だけは私に優しくしてくれたの？あの日もいつもと同じだったらあんな事故が起こることもなかった。そうでしょ？それなのにどうしてあの日だけなの？答えてよ、お母さん。ねえ、お母さん。
I call out to my mother again and again, but no response is forthcoming. Her sleep is undisturbed. That's the nature of persistent vegetative status. This is reality. I will never hear her answer. I suppose I'm going to have to accept that. Accept it and find a way to carry on. If I can't run away, I just have to move forward.
でも怖い。今日見る夢では 次があるんじゃないか。その次に続く言葉は私を責める言葉なんじゃないかって。だからその悪夢を終わらせるつもりでここへ来たはずなのに、結局何もできなかった。私には殺すことなんてできない。事故があった後は全然お母さんに会っていなかったのに、夢に出てくるお母さんはとても怖い顔をしていたはずなのに、こうしてお母さんを目の前にしたらいっぱい幸せで、私が大好きだったお母さんの笑顔ばかりなんだもん。そんなお母さんを殺すことなんて私にできるわけないよ。だからごめんなさい、ゆうくん。
For what? Oh, look at that. You've got nothing to apologize for, Sachi. You did fine. As Sachi kneels on the linoleum floor, I move quietly to stand at her side. You know, I don't know much about your parents, but I think I have a pretty good idea of just how much you cared about them. When we talked in the park back then, you were always telling me stories about your mom and dad. Even after we reunited in Bahama, you brought up your parents many times. More than you realize, I imagine. You love them very much, and you still do. That much was obvious. And that's the exact reason why you've been so afraid. Why you've suffered so much. That's exactly why you've never been able to shake your guilt over causing that accident. It's the same with the final words your mother left you. You're tortured most of all by the thought that she might have hated you. That your parents might have resented you for what happened to them. So in the end, what you really want is to know your parents' feelings. Am I wrong? In that case, why not find out? Find out exactly what your beloved parents really thought of you, with your own eyes.
そんなのできるはずありません。だってお父さんはもうこの世にいない。それにお母さんだって怖さから、どんなに叫んでも私の声はもう二人には届かない。
It doesn't have to.
そんな状態で気持ちを確かめる方法なんて。
What if I told you it was possible?
いくらゆうくんでもそんなことできるわけが。
Have I ever lied to you before, Sachi?
それは。
Here's the thing. I don't know what you're going to find. For all I know, you might end up learning something you wish you hadn't. You might end up going through life buried in even heavier burden than before. It's a possibility. Are you prepared to take that risk and learn the truth? Sachi squeezes her eyelids shut, breaking off in mid-sentence. For a long moment, she contemplates the question. And when they snap open again, the anxiety and uncertainty in her eyes has been replaced with a firm determination. I think we all do.
こうして今のお母さんに会うことでその覚悟はできました。だからその結果がどうであっても全てを受け入れるつもりです。
I see. I could never manage to do the same myself. You know, you really are a hell of a lot tougher than you look, Sachi. Oh, look at that. Take my hand then. I'll show you what you really need to kill.
本当に殺してほしかった。
That's right. And no matter what answer you find in the place we're going next, I'll be your ally. You said you believe in me, well, the feeling's mutual. I know you can do this. And if you find an answer that's too painful for one person to bear, then I will share the burden with you. I will be there. That's not changing, no matter what.
ゆうくん。
Alright, I'm done. Want to go destroy the culprit behind your nightmares? Aww. Leaving the hospital behind, I set off towards the residential district, Sachi at my side.
ゆうくんはどこに向かっているのでしょうか?
That's a surprise. You'll find out when we get there.
そうですか。
I intentionally give Sachi a pretty pompous non-answer, but she doesn't take the bait. She's probably too concerned with the whereabouts of the truth. I promised her to play along like she usually would. In an attempt to slightly ease Sachi's anxiety, I reach out and take her hand in mine.
ゆうくん。
Let's help a little.
はい。ありがとうございます。
I can help Sachi see her mistakes. I can offer her reassurance and affection. But if she's going to be saved outright, that's not enough. Her parents need to step in. As for how they really felt about her, even Sachi, who spent many years with them, doesn't know, so... I mean, maybe this is a little presumptuous of me. But personally, I don't think any parents loved this much by their daughter could possibly hate her in return. I really don't.
ゆうくんが向かっていたのは、やっぱり私の家だったんですね。
As I come to a halt before the small house, Sachi finally allows herself to state the obvious. Well, to be more exact, we're heading to the workshop next door.
工場ですか? あそこには金型を作る機械が置かれているだけなはずですけど。
Is that a fact? You know, all I've heard from Sachi's uncle is that her parents seem to be up to something in the workshop a little before her birthday. But hidden in those words lies the answer Sachi's seeking. I'm pretty firmly convinced of that.
そうだったのかって。それじゃどうして工場なんかに?
Sachi. Our mother's final question. Why? Now that the woman's in a coma, we'll probably never know for sure how she intended to finish that sentence. But if a parent who'd been planning something for her daughter's birthday wanted to say one thing at the end, I think it might have been something like this.
Sachi, どうしてもサチに見てもらいたいものがあったの。
The answer you've been seeking should be waiting in here.
私の求めた。
If you're ready to face it, open this door. With those words, I take the aged metal key out of my pocket and unlock the workshop. I don't know what's going to be in here, but I'm hoping whatever it is will help. You know, it's your decision whether or not you take that step. You can lock this door and walk away. I won't stop you. And no matter what you choose, my feelings aren't going to change.
ゆうくん。
So don't worry about me or anyone else. One way or another, you need to put an end to this with your own two hands.
はい。
Nodding with a serious expression on her face, Sachi slowly closes her eyes. There's probably a whole torrent of conflicted feelings swirling around in her head right now. Terror that she'll discover proof her parents resented her. Hope that showing the opposite was true. I can almost see the tug of war between those powerful emotions shaking the small girl's heart. Even so, Sachi's capable of accepting the truth now. Whatever it may be. I absolutely believe that.
決めました。私はこの扉を開きます。
With that declaration, Sachi opens her eyes and stares firmly at the entrance to the workshop. Are you sure about that?
はい。おかしいですよね。そう決めたはずなのに、体の震えが止まらないんです。
Sachi.
でも逃げるつもりはありません。だからほんの少しだけ私に力を貸してください。
Yeah. As Sachi's hand trembles against the cold iron, I reach out and overlap it with mine. We take 2 long, simultaneous breaths, and then push open the heavy door. Her voice full of surprise, Sachi slowly advances inside. With every step, her eyes grow wider, full of confusion at the scene before her eyes.
あれだけあった機械が全部なくなってる。それにこれは。
The workshop's not entirely empty. One wall is covered with dusty party decorations. A carefully arranged flock of photographs and certificates crowd the space, contrasting strongly with the dull gray wall behind.
誕生日おめでとう、サチ。
Most eye-catching of all is the large hand-lettered banner above. Sachi slowly reads the words aloud. September 23rd. Today's your birthday, right? Well, from what I hear, you haven't been to this place even once since the day of the accident.
どうしてユウ君がそのことを。
Well, truth is, after you wrote that letter mentioning me, I had the chance to talk with your uncle over the phone. I asked about your parents' disinterest, and he told me about this place. He didn't know the details, but it seemed as though your parents had been up to something here in the weeks before your birthday. He also told me that you had no idea about any of this.
それでユウ君が私をここに。
Well, to be honest, I was tempted to drag you over right away, but I knew that wasn't gonna cut it. As long as you kept hiding from your mother, the person you'd transformed into a symbol of your guilt, you couldn't possibly face up to the past in any meaningful way. Unless you were prepared to accept anything, you'd be able to interpret whatever we found here as part of your warped narrative.
だから一度お母さんに会うべきだってそう言ってくれたんですね。
Yeah. You need to be a blank slate, so to speak. Given a piece of paper filled to the margins with thick black letters, you have to erase before you can write something new.
そんなことまで考えていたなんて。
You really are amazing, Yu-kun. Your parents are the amazing ones here. As I speak, I run my eyes carefully along the painstakingly decorated wall. Getting all those machines removed without you realizing would have been hard enough. These decorations are all handmade. It must have taken them days. They must have wanted very badly to surprise you. To make you happy.
そうなんでしょうか。
I didn't want you to kill your mother, not the woman sleeping in the hospital bed at least. That accident was too much for a child to process. Too terrifying. Too painful. Thanks to that overwhelming tragedy, you were imprinted with a hollow, false image. An image of 2 people who resented you and wanted you to suffer. A hateful illusion you mistook for your parents. That's what you needed to kill. In this place, time stopped on that day. Here's the reality. Your real mom and dad's feelings, preserved in amber.
お父さんとお母さんの。
Repeating my words absentmindedly, Sachi gently reaches out to touch the decorations on the wall.
サチが初めてテストで100点を取った。算数が得意なところは私に似たのかもしれない。
父の日のプレゼントにサチが私の絵を描いてくれた。嬉しくて涙が出た。
サチはキャッチボールが好きらしい。将来はソフトボールの選手になるかもしれないなんてお父さんと語り合った。
運動会の父兄参加二人三脚で 私がサチの足を引っ張ってしまった。
私に倣ってサチが初めて作った卵焼き。
サチが苦手だった国語で100点を取ったテストが見つかった。ちゃんと褒めてあげられればよかった。
Along with a series of photographs chronicling the first decade of Sachi's life, the wall is packed with tests, paintings, and prize certificates. And on every single one, there's a note from her parents, spelling out their feelings. They're the simple, earnest sentences of two people watching over their growing child with unabashed pride and affection. It's nothing less than a crystallization of pure parental love.
ずっと昔に描いた絵も、お父さんとお母さんには見せずにいたテストも、もしかして全部取っておいてくれたの？仕事が忙しいからって相手にしてくれないこともあったのに、こんなにたくさんの写真も全部、それにあれだけたくさんあったはずの機械だって。
After all this time, her parents' feelings are finally laid bare. After all those years believing my mom and dad hated me, what Sachi's found here is completely incompatible with that long-standing delusion. She's so bewildered that you can practically see the question marks floating over her head. Dropping her eyes from the wall of memories, Sachi finally notices the small wooden object sitting on a table on the far side of the room.
これってお父さんとお母さんが大事にしていたオルゴール。それにこの手紙は。
Curious. Might as well read it. The envelope, discolored by its long exposure to the sun, still bears the faint letters to Sachi. Seems they left her an answer after all. Sachi carefully opens the envelope, takes out the letter she finds inside, and begins to read it out loud.
サチへ、まずは10歳の誕生日おめでとう。本当はこの言葉も直接伝えた方がいいと思うんだけど、最近サチとはうまく話せていなかったから手紙を書くことにしました。この手紙に私とお父さんが伝えたいことを一生懸命書いたので、
それで私たちがまず初めに言わせてほしかったこと、それはたくさんのごめんなさいです。お仕事が忙しくなって一緒に遊んであげられる時間がなくなってしまったこと、サチの頑張りをそばで見ていてあげることができなかったこと、一人でご飯を食べてもらうことが多くなってしまったこと、そのことを謝らせてください。本当にごめんなさい、サチ。でも決してサチのことが嫌いになったわけじゃない。そのことだけは分かってほしいの。私たちがもっとお仕事を頑張ればサチを幸せにしてあげられる。だからお仕事が忙しくなってお金が手元に残るようになった時、私とお父さんは喜びました。これでサチにたくさんおいしいものを食べさせてあげられる。でもサチが教えてくれたこと、一人でステーキを食べるより機械の音が聞こえないお家でみんな一緒にカレーが食べたい。その言葉で私たちの考えが間違っていたことに気づかされました。私たちに必要だったのはお金じゃなかったんだって。だから私とお父さんは話し合って一緒にお仕事を変えることにしました。大好きなサチともっとたくさんの時間を過ごせるように、あの家でみんながまた笑って過ごせるように。それを次のサチの誕生日プレゼントにしよう。 そう思ったの。でも私たちが好きだったこの工場がずっとサチに嫌われたままなのは悲しい。そう思ってこの工場をサチが好きになってくれるような場所にしよう、そう考えました。その答えがこの
アルバムです。機械のなくなったこの工場は、これから幸せになっていく私たち家族の思い出を飾る記録室。世界中どこを探してもここにしかない、たった一つのアルバムです。だからこれからここにたくさんの思い出を増やしていきましょう。それこそこの工場の中に収まらないくらいたくさんたくさん。それでサチが笑顔になってくれれば私たちはとても嬉しいです。サチが楽しそうに笑ってくれていること、それが私たちにとって一番の幸せなんだもの。そのことがこの手紙で少しでも伝わってくれると嬉しいです。それからこのオルゴールも私たちからのプレゼントとしてサチに贈ります。サチも今日で10歳だから、そろそろ好きな人ができてもおかしくない。私の勘だと公園で一緒に遊んでくれているっていうゆうくんが第一候補かなと思っているんだけど、違ったかしら。でもその子に限らずサチにとって本当に大切な人ができた時、そうすればサチが素敵だと言ってくれたメロディーが幸せを運んできてくれるかもしれません。そしてその人とたくさんの恋愛をして結婚をしたら、私とお父さんに負けないくらい幸せな家庭を作ってください。なんて、それはちょっと気が早すぎたかもしれないけれど、サチの未来が幸せであるように、ずっとずっと笑っていられるように、それがサチに幸せという名前をつけた私。少し長くなってしまったけれど、私たちがサチに伝えたかったことはこれで全部です。そして最後にもう一つだけ、愛してるはまだ難しいかもしれないから、この言葉で私たちの子供に生まれてきてくれてありがとう、サチ。私の方こそありがとう、お母さん、お父さん。
Sachi finally has the answer she's been yearning to find since her childhood. I stand quietly at her side as the tears flow down in streams down her cheeks. I can't say for sure how I felt to read that letter. That's something only Sachi herself will ever know. But there is one thing I can say with some confidence: you won't be suffering from those nightmares again. Because right now the words flowing from her mouth aren't "I'm sorry," but "thank you." And while I might just be a completely deluded narcissistic moron, I'm pretty sure I also know what the next word out of her mouth are going to be.
私、たった今ゆうくんにお願いができました。
Oh, and what would that be?
私と一緒にこのオルゴールを聴いてもらえますか？
Of course. Think I can do that?
いから帰っておいで眠いのならキスをしておやすみ透明な約束たち未来を集めて鮮やかな色に染めよういつかもしも思い出になっても間違いじゃないよねずっとこの日のままで穏やかな笑顔だけ見ていたい君と二人でいれば幸せになれそうな気がするよきっと愛してるわ大げさだからありがとう箱に入れ送るよ遠ざかる悲しみたち手を振りお別れ今夜から強くなれるね自分守るためについた嘘いらないね捨てようずっと一緒にいよう永遠がないことは知ってるけど午後の日差しの中は幸せが溢れて夢みたいねちょっとずっと離さないでね贅沢なお願いと思うけど君と二人でいれば幸せになれそうな気がするよもっと神様にお願い目を閉じるよそっと
昨日は体育の授業があって久しぶりにみんなでエクストリームスポーツをやったの。
Okay. That was a very beautiful ending, but there's a little bit more here.
あ、 エクストリームスポーツっていうのはゆうくんが命名したスポーツの名前で、
And for some reason, my controller does not work during this scene, and I don't know why. Doesn't matter. Let's continue.
私が打ったボールをマキちゃんがワンバウンドでキャッチして二塁に向かって走っていたみちる様に投げつけたの。そしたらマキちゃんは肩が弱いからバウンドボールになっちゃったんだけど、平らな地面でつまずいちゃったみちる様がヘッドスライディングしたところにそのボールが乗っかって見事にアウト。私はその間に一塁へ走ってセーフだったんだけど、みちる様もマキちゃんもすごいよね。
The hospital room is filled with the warm glow of afternoon sunlight. As a gentle breeze blows in through the open window, Sachi chatters on, recounting the recent happenings at Mahama Academy. Unlike before, there's no trace of melancholy in her expression. Of course, that doesn't mean her mother's offered any real reply. Even so, her sleeping face looks strangely peaceful. Somehow, it makes me think of a parent affectionately half listening to her daughter's stories while doing housework.
小峰さん、失礼しますね。あら、さっちゃん、今日も来てくれてたのね。
The one-sided conversation is interrupted by the arrival of a familiar nurse, who immediately greets the two of us.
はい、これから検温の時間ですか？
その通りなんだけど、すぐに終わるからそのままで大丈夫よ。
あ、いえ、ちょうどキリが良かったですから、私たちはここで。
そう？それならいいんだけど。
はい。
Still smiling, Sachi slowly rises from her seat. I follow suit, pushing myself up off my undersized folding chair.
また来るね、お母さん。
As she speaks, Sachi gently squeezes her mother's hand.
それではすみませんが、母のことよろしくお願いします。
ええ、さっちゃんも勉強頑張ってね。
はい、ありがとうございます。
After exchanging polite little nods with the nurse, we quietly leave the hospital room. Are you really alright with that?
何がですか？
Wrapping up the visit so quickly.
はい、今日はこれでおしまいです。
Sachi seems to have grasped what I'm getting at, but her reply is strangely casual in tone. Did you have more you wanted to talk about?
それはもちろんです。
So why didn't you stay a little longer like the nurse suggested?
あんまり長話をしてお母さんを困らせたくないですから。
Oh. What?
私がお母さんに話さなければいけないことはたくさんあります。今までお見舞いに来られなかった間に私が経験したこと、美浜学園でのことやゆうくんとのこと、それを一度にたくさん聞かされるのはお母さんも大変だと思うんです。
I guess you got a point.
だからたくさん病院に通って少しずつお話ししていきたいんです。
There's no guilt or bitterness in Sachi's eyes as she speaks those words. They're the shining eyes of a child talking about beloved parent. I see. Fine, you've convinced me.
ありがとうございます。それよりゆうくんの方こそ私との約束を忘れていませんよね。
Oh, now that you mention it. Something about reverting to childhood and spending the whole day playing in the park, wasn't it?
はい。見てください、ゆうくん。誰もいません。私たちの貸し切りです。
The moment she realizes the playground's empty, Sachi takes off at a gallop, practically floating off the ground with excitement. Today, the two of us are playing in the park where we first met until Sachi's thoroughly satisfied. This is what she chose for her belated birthday present.
ブランコに鉄棒、シーソーにジャングルジム。これは今から日付が変わるまでの時間をフルに使ってもこの公園を満喫しきれないかもしれません。
How are you keeping a straight face right now?
もちろん真面目な話をしています。
As my birthday present to you, I'll accept any one request unconditionally, no matter how spoiled or selfish it may be. From the moment I made my offer, Sachi's been eagerly anticipating this day. I knew the girl never really lost her fundamental love for playing around outside. But it seems all those years of self-denial may have amplified her enthusiasm. You seriously want to go straight through midnight? In some ways, that might be harder than your average ranger training course.
ゆうくんはどんなわがままでも聞いてくれると言っていましたよね。
True. I did this to myself. That's what I said, but can we try to be a little realistic? Human beings do have their limits.
それならその限界までで構いません。さあ、まずはブランコから始めましょう。
Even as she speaks, Sachi's yanking impatiently at my arm. You're not listening to a word I say, are you? I may be grumbling, but for some mysterious reason, there's a smile on my face. This is how it's been lately. We eat our meals together, we talk about nothing in particular, we end up laughing. Every once in a while, she pulls me around like this. Hackneyed stuff, the sort of thing they used to read about in cheap love stories, you know. You know, maybe the happiness I wanted to help Sachi find was something as simple as that. You know, even after visiting that workshop, neither Sachi nor I believe that we've come to understand everything her mother and father were thinking. The feelings of two parents cut down by an accident in the middle of searching for their distraught child. That's probably something you can't fully understand until you have a family and children of your own. Yeah, but there's one thing that's clear. The two of them wanted her to find happiness even greater than their own. In a way, that bittersweet knowledge will be Sachi's punishment from now on. A family, huh? At the rate this relationship is going, the two of us might end up married. Maybe even have children of our own at some point, who knows? You know, kind of bizarre in a way. I wouldn't have been capable of imagining such a future just a few short months ago. But right now it seems completely natural. Even obvious. You know, Sachi feels the same way. I don't think anything could ever make me happier. Hey Sachi, I've got a suggestion to make if you're willing to listen.
やっぱり公園で遊ぶのを中止するという相談なら受け付けませんよ。
No, it's not that. What do you think about getting married after we graduate from Mama?
結婚ですか?
Yeah, I mean, even if I end up quitting my current job somewhere down the line, I'm confident I'll be able to feed the two of us. And I want you with me for the rest of my life, Sachi.
ということは私、今、プロポーズをされているんですよね。
I guess so.
なるほどです。確かに、結婚すれば、美浜学園を卒業しても、ゆうくんと一緒にいられますし、それはとても魅力的な提案です。
Nodding to herself, Sachi slowly closes her eyes. I guess it's decided then.
いえ、お断りします。
What? Well, no, balanced by this 180-degree reversal from her initial reaction, I do a bit of a double take. I bet she's gonna have some silly contest we gotta do.
だって、私より靴を飛ばせるようになったところを、まだ見せてもらってい
Oh,
ません
look
から。
at that. That's a beautiful picture. The mid-afternoon sun blazing down as if to insist summer's not over yet, is thoroughly outshone by a single dazzling smile. That smile belongs to a girl named Kamini Sachi, the only child of two people who treasured her above all else, the daughter of two parents who exchanged their ambitions for one simple wish. And today I'm sure the two of them know that their wish has been wholeheartedly inherited. Because the woman I love has found a smile so befitting of the name our parents gave her.
Grisaia の果実。
Well, that's it, guys. That's the game. That's the route. It was absolutely beautiful. The ending though, oh my god. You probably can't tell because I sound sickly, but oh man. Whew, the tears were flowing like a river. But yeah, that's it for the game. Another route down. There's some more to go, but who knows when I'm going to get to those routes. Because honestly, I mean, this playlist almost has 200 videos in it. I've got to take a little bit of a break from Grisaia right now, guys. Unfortunately, after playing the sequel and this, and I'm on his after story, it's just, I'm all Grisaia'd out. But it was quite a beautiful, beautiful story. A bit rushed in the end, I thought. Kind of seemed like a lot of nothing went around, and then all of a sudden all these plot points kind of hit, but, you know, it was still a good story. Oh, the music box scene, oh my god, I love that. And alright, I'm going to stop babbling on, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, and God bless.